This is Judy from the North American Bear Center. I'm in the back of the enclosure here with staff member and Big Ted, our largest male bear. And I would like to tell those people here at the North American Bear Center that this broadcast is being broadcast worldwide on a podcast. And if you'd like to know how to access that, you can go to www.bear.org, check on our home page, click on View Camera, and just log in to our chat page, and you'll be able to easily hear me every day this summer between 11 and 4 o'clock, Ely, Minnesota time. This facility has people around the world that follow the adventures of our bears here, as well as the research of Dr. Lynn Rogers and his fellow associates. Just to give you an idea before I start talking about Ted, if you ever come to the North American Bear Center, and I would urge you that for your summer plans when the children or grandchildren are out of school, to consider making your way up to the Ely, Minnesota area. There's many things to do here in Ely, Minnesota. And of course, obviously, the first place I'd like you to visit is the North American Bear Center. As I said, we are every day, 9 to 7, all summer long. We also have another great place for you can visit at the other end of town. It's the International Wolf Center, where there's a great pack of wolves there, and they have some great programs as well. This morning we have Ted out, and it looks like Ted's going to get up on the scale. Well, the staff member goes, "What? Today's not weigh day." We weigh with bears every Tuesday. In fact, we had a little weigh contest yesterday with some children. It was really fun. Ted weighed about 545, give or take a pound. He looks a little wet. He must have been swimming in the pond when I wasn't looking at him. And I want to make a comment about worldwide visitors, or visitors into our podcast today. It's a bright sunny day, no clouds, and right about 70 degrees. It's not quite as humid as it was over the Memorial holiday. It's just really a great day. We're giving Ted an enrichment toy. We call them toys. I think I should really say enrichment opportunity. It's an old that we drilled some holes in, and the holes are about approximately an inch deep, maybe a little bit more than an inch wide or in diameter. And Ted's working that pretty hard, and what's he doing? We have peanut butter spread over the top of the hole, and underneath the peanut butter, I have to ask exactly what she put in it. We have one hole with some apricots, dried apricots, another one with some peanuts, and another one with some dried cranberries. I think there's about 5 or 6 holes in that one. And really what you have to do in the wild, if there was a rotten log with ant pupae or something else that he wants in it, right now it's beginning actually the start of ant season around here. And rotten logs. Bears can smell ants in a rotten log with their nose. They have phenomenal sense of smell. And they will go right to that log along the log and be able to dig right where the immature ants are. And it's a favorite this time of year for black bears. It's one way they get their 10% of their diet protein. That's what the immature ants are, as well as immature bees provide protein for the wild bears. But Ted, he's not a wild bear. He's a captive bear. And let me talk a little bit about Ted. Ted's a 17-year-old captive bear, and he has been captive his entire life. He was born on a game farm. was raised by a private party who back in 2007 decided to give Ted to the North American Bear Center so he can be one great ambassador bear. He's 17 years old, and for a captive bear, he's considered middle-aged. If he was in the wild, he'd probably be considered a little older bear, or an older bear. In captivity, their life is much different than in the wild. In captivity, of course, every summer is a great food year. At least it certainly is here at the North American Bear Center. All the food that is given to the bears is food that you or I would probably eat. So they never have a bad food year. They have access to veterinary care. And also, more importantly, they don't really have any predators. They don't have people hunting them. They don't have cars or trucks hitting them across the road. So the life in captivity is much better than it is in the wild. In the wild, they have other dangers. They can have forest fires. They can have drought years where the wild food is poor to non-existent, and of course, the dangers of humans. Ted is working that log pretty hard. That tongue is going like crazy. I can see him from the side. He's using mostly his tongue. I've seen him use his teeth a little bit. But that's going to take him a while. That's not one of the toys that requires necessarily a lot of manipulation, but it does require persistence. He's one of the bears that tends to enjoy this, and Ted's one that's going to stay at it until that log is pretty well clean. Now, Ted has already had breakfast today. Talk a little bit about their diet. Right now, Ted's breakfast consists of lately a raw egg, carrot, romaine lettuce, some nuts, variety of nuts, and we also give him we start giving him a little tuna fish that you get right out of a can that maybe you would eat. Tuna fish in water, not oil, with a little glucosamine chondroit to help with his joints a little bit. And talking about his joints a little bit, and the fact that thinking we wanted to weigh him again today, which we did on a weekly basis, because as I said, we are their major food source, and so we do monitor their weight and adjust the diets accordingly. Not all the bears are always fed the same thing. They have individual personalities, and they also have individual tastes about what they like. Some of Ted's favorites is a raw egg, red grapes, liking what he's got right now too. So raw eggs and grapes, red grapes specifically, are two of Ted's favorites. And there are a few variety of nuts that he enjoys as well. I want to tell you a little bit about the North American Bear Center and the habitat that you're looking at. So for those of you that are on the deck, it is a nice day and get some good pictures up there as well as videos. The North is 2.5 acres, and when this facility was built, we double enclosed it with double fencing. And it's approximately a circle to an oval-shaped environment for the bears to walk in. A man-made waterfall for them to swim in. And Ted, I see, by looking at his coat, he's already been in the pond, cooling off. And as I've been talking, I must be talking at least now for 5 minutes. Ted's coat, the top of his coat, could easily be 120 degrees by now, because he's been sitting out in the sun the entire time I've been talking. Ted still has his winter coat on. He hasn't shed it yet, but he will be here in the next month or two. And then once he sheds it isn't too long after that he's in. Ted is in a stage right now of the year where he's at normal activity level. Yeah, Ted, I said that and you laid down. Okay. Okay, Ted, that's, yep, normal activity level. Come August, he will be in a different stage of his year. It will be hyperphagia, and we increase the food intake for them because the goal of hyperphagia is to have them gain fat so they can hibernate. Because during hibernation, they don't eat. They may drink water, eat snow. If it's snow, more than likely up here in Ely is available. They will lick the snow and eat snow, but basically they don't eat. Ted hibernated in this 2.5 acres over just a little ways over to my right. A den that he picked, man-made, but he picked. He denned right around Thanksgiving time last year, about the 24th of November, and he did not come out of his den until the first week of April. He lost between 18 and 22% of his body that time, and that's really quite normal for bears. A lactating female, meaning a female who had cubs during the wintertime in late January, could lose as much as 45 to 50% of her body weight, meaning going in her den pregnant and coming out of hibernation maybe with 1, 2, 3 cubs and a little less body weight. Ted is just a sweetheart. He's very attached to people. That's fine being an ambassador bear. Not so fine if he was out in the wild. I want to thank all of you for coming to the North American Bear Center today. We know that you have other choices for entertainment and education here in the Ely area, and we are happy to have you here at the North American Bear Center to visiting us and all our resident bears here at the center. As I said earlier, we're open 9 to 7 every day from now until after Labor Day. And the admissions pass that you purchased when you came in today is a day pass. So all you have to do is keep your sticker or your receipt, and you're free to enjoy the town of Ely, maybe go grab a little quick lunch, or go visit other attractions that you might find of interest, and you can come back here again later in the afternoon and see what we're doing here at the North American Bear Center. We also in the exhibit hall have 60 videos that you may pick from to watch every aspect of a black bear's life: mother and cubs, vocalization, local food sources, scat analysis, and for those you children listening on a podcast worldwide, scat analysis means poop. I got asked that question yesterday, so I had to more clearly define what scat analysis is. It's looking at poop. I would encourage you to stop back this afternoon, see what our bears are doing later this afternoon. We will have another worldwide broadcast at 4 p.m. this afternoon. And if it gets too hot for you, because I think it is going to warm up into the 80s, not a lot of breeze, we have 2 fabulous BBC documentaries that were done on the founder of this facility, Dr. Lynn Rogers, who is commonly known worldwide as the Bear Man. Dr. Rogers has been researching black bears for over 47 years, and those 2 BBC documentaries were both filmed here in the Ely area within approximately 40-mile radius of this facility. It gives you insight into not only what researchers do in the field, but how many of these videos here at the North American Bear Center were achieved and accomplished that we can show you here today. So again, thank you very much for coming to the North American Bear Center, and I look forward to seeing you later on in the summer. Thank you very much.